I saw the story, I think it was yesterday, and I didn't get the opportunity to do it. Tulsi Gabbard is suing Hillary Clinton $50 million for defamation. Now, why is Tulsi Gabbard suing Hillary Clinton for $50 million for defamation? She's suing her because Clinton accused Tulsi Gabbard of effectively being a Russian asset. Everybody knew exactly who she was talking about, and she even made the point that just like Jill Stein, meaning she invoked the term of a Russian asset. That's unambiguous, that's clear as day. And so, you know, she did what Gabbard is accusing her of. Now, whether or not the lawsuit has legs is unclear. I mean, it's true that Tulsi Gabbard is a public persona. By the same token, you can't just go and intentionally try to damage somebody's reputation and intentionally say something that you have nothing to go with from the standpoint of truthfulness, meaning you just came out and lied. Just like you came out and lied about Sanders, the level of mendacity and hubris that's associated with a person not being that unself-aware. The irony of this is when Clinton attacked Gabbard, defaming her reputation. I mean, for fuck's sake, this is a woman who's literally in our military, who is a sitting member of Congress, and is running for president of the United States. Not to mention is, if I'm not mistaken, on the Security Council. Clinton dragging herself from a rock in order to attack Gabbard like this should have consequences. I don't care whether this is Gabbard trying to get attention. I don't care if this is Gabbard trying to get that much more votes, meaning the last time this happened, she went up slightly in the polls. I don't care if it's for that reason or if it's entirely legitimate. She has a righteous indignation and anger at Hillary Clinton coming out claiming that she's working at the behest of a foreign power against the interests of the United States. And by the United States, I mean the public itself, public will. That's a big fucking deal. For the news cycle, all of these people, all of these lemmings, these talking heads, go talking about this nonsense that Hillary Clinton is putting out as if Hillary Clinton is relevant or liked, or people see her as something other than a corrupt failure of a politician. And yet, it hits, inevitably, the news cycle. Gabbard has a right to be pissed. And yeah, I think it's just and right for her to put this lawsuit out, considering Hillary Clinton had nothing to back this up. It was clear as day that she was calling her a Russian asset. And from Gabbard's standpoint, you're calling somebody who's a sitting member of Congress with nothing to back it an enemy of this country? Yes. I don't blame her for putting this lawsuit out. And again, multiple things can be true at once. Fact of the matter is, all of those things could be true in regards to the motivations for doing it. The catch becomes, is she right to do it? Meaning, is it legit? And I have to be honest, I don't understand the people. Even if you want to say she's trying to get attention, even if you want to say this is for vote, all this stuff. I don't understand the people that can't realize that the fact that this woman is coming out slandering somebody like this, and there should be no consequences for that level of slander. Hillary Clinton wasn't running in a political race. I hope you understand that. It wasn't like she was running for office and them two were going back and forth in regards to saying something about the other one. That wasn't it at all. Hillary Clinton had nothing to do with this process. She is somebody sitting at home reading books and eating ho-hos. And she comes out and says this nonsense. She is, for all intents and purposes, a civilian. And just like any other civilian that slanders somebody else, it should be fair game to sue the shit out of them. Welcome to the soapbox. And by the way, there's a bit of trolling in this document that is fucking precious. Welcome to the soapbox. My name is Jamal Thomas. This is the Progressive Soapbox. Guys, if you dig this content, please like, share, subscribe. You can always support PayPal, Patreon. This video is not going to be long because there's one or two more that I want to get to before I end for tonight, and I still have other work to do. Gabbard. Just to put this in perspective, so we're very clear on what we're talking about. Hillary Clinton comes out and says the following. This is one of my favorite speeches that Hillary Clinton gave. This is her concession speech when she had to call Donald Trump and say, I'm sorry, I failed, and you're the president, and I just lost. I just lost it all. It makes me feel happy for some reason. I like seeing Bill Clinton sitting back there with that look on his face, and Hillary Clinton have to come out here and give the speech. So there's that. This is what Clinton said. In a podcast released in October, Clinton said she thought the Republicans were grooming a Democratic presidential candidate for a third-party bid. She also described the candidate as a favorite of the Russians. They're also going to do a third party. I'm not making any predictions, but I think they've got their eye on somebody who's currently in the Democratic primary and are grooming her to be a third-party candidate, Clinton said. She's a favorite of the Russians. She's a favorite of the Russians. They have a bunch of sites and bots and other ways of supporting her so far. And that's assuming Jill Stein would give it up, which she might not, because she's also a Russian asset. Now, words matter, right? Words matter, right? When I make the point that imminent is a temporal term, meaning if you say something is imminent, that means in a short span of time, something is supposed to take place. It is built into the word itself. If words have meanings, well, that's what that meaning is. Same thing with also. 4 letters. But important, because it means that what you said there is connected to this. The moment that you say Jill Stein is a Russian asset, and then you add also into it, well, right off the bat, you've created a situation where you have just called the other person a Russian asset also. Right, let me read it again. And that's assuming Jill Stein will give it up, which she might not, because she's also a Russian asset. The person that Clinton was talking about prior was Tulsi Gabbard. To turn around and say she is also, meaning Jill Stein, means that the person who you were talking about before, that statement applies to it. Also matters. It matters. You've just called Jill Stein an asset. And in calling Jill Stein an asset, by adding also into it, it means you've also called Tulsi Gabbard a Russian asset. This is not conjecture. It is clear. It's almost as if people don't think that when they say things into a microphone that they're not being recorded while they do so. Hillary Clinton may not necessarily know how technology works, but we do. And when you have video or audio of her saying some insane, spurless lie like this, that as she's gotten more bitter, as she's gotten older, especially after losing that race, she says this hateful shit. Why shouldn't there be a consequence for her saying hateful shit about various people, especially when there is no reality to it? It's all in her head. Either she's just flagrantly lying or she needs to be medicated. And maybe it's a little bit of both. Either way, she shouldn't be allowed to just say shit like this, especially if there's no reality to it. You can have free speech all you want, but within the context of that free speech, you can't smear somebody if there's nothing behind it, especially if you're just being vitriolic for the point of being vitriolic and hurting the candidate. This is Gabbard, not to mention having her lemmings in the media to repeat this nonsense. Gabbard is explaining why she's filing this lawsuit. And I just want to read one part of this. Because the lawsuit, Tulsi Gabbard has added something into the legal document that is epic trolling. I don't know another word for it. So this is the lawsuit doc. Let's flip over to it. Notice the first part of this. I don't know if you can see it, but notice the first part. Plaintiff Tulsi Gabbard and Tulsi New Inc. Being the lawsuit against defendant Hillary Rodham Clinton. Once again, for defamation, Tulsi Gabbard is running for president of the United States, a position Clinton has long coveted but has not been able to attain. Now, you didn't have to add that. Like, you could have had a defamation lawsuit without saying, I'm running for president, an office she's always wanted but never could actually win. She lost to a black man with a Muslim name, and then she lost to his polar opposite, a reality show host that most people thought was unqualified for the job the day that he beat her. You didn't have to add that in. That's funny. That's true. But that's called trolling in a legal text. Let's listen to Tulsi. Tulsi is going to explain why she filed this lawsuit. And again, I make the point to you that multiple things can be true at once. Yes. It could be to some degree to get some level of attention. Yes. It could be to maybe get a bump in the polling. It could also be, you call me a Russian asset. I am a soldier in this country's military. I put my life on the line for this military. I am a member of Congress that get secret documents and whatnot in regards to me doing my job. And because I take a political position that's diametrically opposed to yours, you decide, instead of engaging that political position, to just slander and smear with outright lies. Yes, there should be a consequence. My point is, the lawsuit, I would consider to be valid. Whether the other items are part and parcel to her reasoning or plays into her motivation is irrelevant to me. Is it valid? Hillary Clinton coming out here saying stupid shit. Yes, there should be a consequence for her saying stupid shit. She's going to have to get back in politics and do a lot of grifting to pay off that $50 million. Let's hear Gabbard.
I'm a patriot. I love our country. I've put my life on the line for our country. I've been serving as a soldier now for almost 17 years and still wear the uniform for my National Guard service. As a member of Congress, I have taken an oath to our nation, serving now for 7 going on 8 years, serving on the Foreign Affairs Committee, on the Armed Services Committee, the Homeland Security Committee, and having access to some of the highest classified information, helping to make decisions about our country's national security interests. And look, I will not stand quietly by as Hillary Clinton or anyone else tries to smear my character and my loyalty and dedication to serving our country. And I've filed a lawsuit against her for that defamation, to hold her accountable.
I got to be honest, I don't understand why that's wrong. I don't understand why that's wrong. There will be some of Clinton's, fellow Democrats out there that hate Tulsi Gabbard's guts. They would say, oh, she just wants attention, or oh, she wants this, or oh, she wants that. The fact of the matter is, what she just said there was true. She slandered her. There was nothing to back it up. Clinton just made the shit out of whole cloth. And the entire reason that she did it was in order to injure her. I don't care if she was vitriolic. I don't care if she was bitter. I don't care her reasons. I care what she did. In this very specific case, I care what she did. Hillary Clinton had gotten fantastically rich off of politics, something that in and of itself should be weird to you. And in grifting in such a way, she could have taken that $3 billion that she had earned over the course of her political career, and yes, $3 billion, and went on a desert island and put her head in the sand for the rest of her life, and just had people bringing her mojitos and whatnot with little umbrellas in it. Bill Clinton could have been out there fondling and going after whoever he wanted. I guess my point is, Hillary Clinton did not have to drag herself back into politics. And I got to be honest, if you lose to somebody like Donald Trump, I don't know why you would believe your opinion will have that much value or relevance in general. It didn't seem to have that much relevance to the population itself, meaning Gabbard didn't seem to be all that entirely injured. The injury came from the standpoint of the Democratic Party and the news cycle, that they were repeating this nonsense over and over again. Is Tulsi Gabbard a Russian asset? Maybe. I mean, Hillary Clinton said she is. As if this is actual something to be debated and something to actually be talked about, as if it has some level of relevance, as opposed to Hillary Clinton just being a fucking liar. Yes, she should sue the shit out of her. Whether or not she has an entire great case, I don't necessarily know all of the case law on this stuff. I don't know any of the case law on this stuff. Excuse me. I do know, however, when one person said something that is demonstratively untrue about another person entirely for the point of damaging that particular person's character, by definition, it comes across as defamation. I don't care if Tulsi Gabbard is not is a political figure. You still can't, ideally, just make shit up and say something about somebody with the point of damaging their reputation, which is effectively what Clinton did. And she should be held responsible for it. I don't care if Gabbard is trying to get attention. I don't care if she's trying to get votes, or, for that matter, if she's being entirely sincere. I do care that she has what I would consider be a legitimate gripe. You do your thing, Tulsi. Get her ass. Get her ass. God, I would love for Clinton to lose that case. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? The judge comes back with a verdict or something. It's like, yeah, we're going to, fine you for $20 million or something for defaming somebody's character. Whether they would do that, who knows? I got to be honest, I'm slightly doubtful because how I look at this stuff is not necessarily entirely always the way it is. For cheating Sanders, for example, the DNC fraud lawsuit, to me, it is an overt case of fraud. If you look at me in the eye and say this process is fair and entirely impartial, and then we find out that it was not fair and not impartial, and me sending money to my particular candidate while you're telling me it's fair, meaning nobody in their right mind would have sent Sanders a dime if they knew the DNC was going to rig that contest. How is that not fraud? If there was any other situation, you selling me something, or you trying to show me something or give me something, you lying about it. Hey, I got a bridge. I have a piece of property over here that you could just buy it from me, and then I give you the money for it, and I find that it's owned by somebody else. I guess my point is you've lied to me in the pursuit of allowing money to flow from my hands to the candidates in a situation where I never would have sent money to the candidate. And this happened to the tune of tens of millions of dollars. To me, that comes across as an overt sense of fraud. If any other company did that and the DNC is just the company, that company would be held liable. It becomes a political entity, so they get dicey with trying to make the case. By the same token, to me, it comes across as fraud. So I don't know. It could be some loophole or some kind of weird quirk that this case gets ditched. But let's be honest. Is she legit? What she's saying here? Did Clinton call her a Russian asset? Yes, Clinton did call her a Russian asset. Is Tulsi Gabbard a Russian asset? No. Does Clinton have anything to go by? No. Did Clinton just make that shit up? Yes. Is Clinton a flagrant liar? Yes. Did she say it in order to injure Gabbard? Yes. Whether she was bitter, whether she was just vitriolic, whether she's just a horrible, classless human being. Whichever one of those it is almost irrelevant to the point that she said it in a way to try to injure Gabbard and her campaign. The lawsuit is legit. Those people who don't think it can go fuck themselves. The lawsuit on its face is legit. Whether she can win it or not is a second matter. Like, share, subscribe. Thanks all.